Hi guys, this is Sarah Brisky giving a pre-concert talk on Beethoven's Second Symphony, the third movement, the Scherzo and Trio. So this movement is written in binary form, which means there are two sections that are related and often repeat. In this case, they do repeat, as we'll talk more about in a minute. This movement starts out with a Scherzo. It starts off in D major, with a little idea that sounds like this. Alright, so that's the basic idea. That's the home idea for the Scherzo. This repeats, the first reprise repeats, and eventually ends up modulating to 5, which is A major in this case. The second reprise starts off with a digression that sounds like this. So as you can hear, the digression is a lot different than the original idea. It's more frantic sounding. It's pretty much completely different than the original idea in the first reprise. But then, right after this, it goes back to that original idea, the return. But then, Beethoven throws in something unexpected. He again digresses and returns. So it kind of keeps the listener on their toes. You don't really know what to expect, since he digresses, returns, and then does the whole thing again. And this section is written in continuous rounded binary form. It's continuous because the first reprise does not end on tonic. It modulates to 5, as we talked about, which is A major in this case. Then it's rounded because the original idea comes back at the end after there's a digression. So it ends away from tonic on the first reprise, that's why it's continuous, and then is rounded because there's a digression and then a return in the second reprise, and it comes back in the original key. Now, for me, it makes a lot more sense to relate pieces like this to kind of an idea or a story. So for me, I relate the opening idea as this little duck. He's playing in a puddle with his family. He's all happy as like bum, bum. It's like him splashing in the water. He's just enjoying himself. And then when the digression comes, it's kind of frantic. He doesn't really know what's going. You don't really know what's going on. Think of it as little duck. He gets a little too happy and wanders away from his family. Gets lost. So he's lost, and you can hear this in the music where it digresses. It's a lot different than the main idea. It's almost like this piece of the music is lost from the original idea, but then it returns back. So it's a little duck coming home again. Now this piece continues, this movement, with a trio. Let me play a little bit of the original trio for you. So that's the little main clip from the trio. The trio has a very short first reprise, which repeats. The trio also begins in D major. But it doesn't modulate. It ends in a PAC in D. And as I mentioned, it's very short. The second reprise starts with a digression in F sharp major. So let me play that so you know what it sounds like. Again, this is short, but very frantic again, kind of like how we heard in the scherzo. And then it returns quickly to D major after this. And this part is sectional rounded binary form. It's sectional because the first reprise does not move away from tonic. It ends in a PAC. And then it's rounded because there also is a digression and a return in the second reprise. In this part, if you want to relate to the story, think of it as a little duck at the beginning where it's all smooth and happy. He finally, he's come back and he gives his mom a big hug. But then the digression, the mom's happy to see her son again, but she's going to give him an earful for disappearing and wandering away. So that's the da la 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 bum 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 bum. It's almost like she's talking really fast, getting mad. But then, of course, she forgives him, and so it returns back to the original idea, and they go home. I hope you've enjoyed my pre-concert talk, and can't wait to hear the piece on Friday night.